came as quickly as I could.
Agent Recycle, thank goodness you're here. We have an emergency.
I see.
We have all of these items and we don't know what to do with them. We need to know if they're
right.
recyclable or not.
All right, let's get busy.
Let's take a look at them.
Okay,
We have a black plastic bowl here.
no go.
The lid to the black plastic bowl.
No go. In general, lids are not okay.
Even big lids.
Even big lids. It's the flat nature of the lid, and often it is made of a different resin than the container that goes with it. But also because it's flat, most sorting systems today, recycling sorting systems, are mechanical and optical, and so this would likely end up with paper products, given its flat nature, and ends up then being a potential contaminant with paper products. So for that reason, should not include lids in with recycling. So none of these are okay. The black plastic, similar problem. The optical scanners can't read the black to be able to pull it off of the stream, and so for that reason, black plastic is also a problem and should not be included.
Here's another lid.
Another one, no go.
All right. How about the little bowls that come with these lids?
No, I'm sorry to say. None of these would be considered acceptable. Most of these are made from number 7, which is a kind of an other plastic. Occasionally you'll find a number 5.
That's a 6 there.
Yeah, so 6 are no good. A number 5, polypropylene, would be okay, but you see these are all 6s. So those should not be included in the mix. In general, understand, plastics numbers 1, 2, and 5 are acceptable. The others in curbside, the rest are not. However, at our church recycling programs, we accept the film plastic and we accept styrofoam on occasion. So we have periodic seasonal drop-offs for styrofoam. So congregation members are encouraged to save their styrofoam. They can also take it to the drop-off station on Ellsworth Road any of the days that it's open. There's a $3 entry fee, but then the rest, there's no other charge beyond that $3 fee for these core recyclables, including the film plastic and styrofoam. Churches take the film plastic, styrofoam on occasion. The other plastics, 1, 2, and 5 are acceptable in the curbside mix. So it can go in the general mixed recyclables at your congregations or in your mixed recyclables curbside. So if that helps.
I was wondering, is there a way to tell the difference between styrofoam peanuts and those little cornstarch peanuts that are compostable?
Color is probably the best. You know, the off-white is kind of that cornstarch. Yeah. Sometimes it's compostable, but you better be very sure that it's compostable before you put it in your compost bin. So I'd say generally err on the side of throwing it away.
And don't put it in, unless you're sure it's styrofoam, don't put it in the styrofoam.
We use the general maxim, when in doubt, throw it out. A lot of people think they're doing us a favor by putting something in that may be recyclable. More often than not, if you don't think it's recyclable, it probably isn't, and it ends up being a contaminant that either we have to pull out or that ends up contaminating materials that we're trying to send to end markets.
So while we're on compostable, is there a way to tell whether these things are compostable or not?
Typically you can, and again, the color is a good indicator. When you've got this color, typically this kind of light brown, tan, that is compostable. And you can also often ask the vendor, where you get the product, is this a compostable container or not? They will likely know if it is. Of course, there are many other carry-out type containers that are not recyclable or would be so contaminated with food waste. The nice thing is with these, even if you have some food residue, at least in the city of Ann Arbor, the curbside compost program does allow food waste as well as these compostable items. So if you had some food residue in the container, it wouldn't matter because all of it does end up being composted at the city's compost facility. So these would be acceptable. Napkins are okay, of course.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about that. And these coffee filters, I did not bring a full coffee filter.
Thank you for that.
But, and I was wondering, are those compostable?
They are, in fact, as are coffee grounds. So these can also go in your compost container. These also would break down quickly enough, I think particularly with coffee grounds in them, that if you do composting at home, you could include this with your home composting as well. So these are perfectly compostable. Now some of the filters are not recyclable. So, or compostable. So again, the color will largely indicate whether it's compostable or not.
The unbleached brown filters
Exactly.
are compostable.
Yeah, because you also get then the bleaching issues and chemical additive issues with some of the brighter colors. So this kind of brown is what you're looking to purchase and use for coffee grounds. Very good question.
All right, we got some other miscellaneous. Let's see, well, with paper and cardboard, this would be for curbside. Is that recyclable?
It is. It is. This is considered to be box board. So tissue boxes, cereal boxes, cracker boxes, or all this kind of box board material, all perfectly acceptable in the recycling mix. And of course, you want to separate out any of the lining, that kind of thing, but the paper itself is perfectly recyclable.
Doesn't have to be gray cardboard.
It does not.
in other words, any kind of box board.
Correct.
Is that true with including freezer boxes?
Freezer boxes are no. So you should not include freezer boxes in that mix.
Okay.
Good question.
How about if we shred paper?
Shredded paper is acceptable at the drop-off station. It is not accepted generally in curbside programs because, kind of like styrofoam, it ends up all over the place. You know, once the trucks drop material, it just spreads. And, you know, the loaders are pushing it, picking it up, putting on conveyor belts. It just gets so diffuse, it becomes extremely difficult to recover this with any high probability. And so it is recyclable. Bring it to the drop-off station. And there are periodic events at the drop-off station for shredded days where you can bring in business documents, confidential documents, and get them shredded on site as well if you want that added measure of security. So look for dates. We usually do that. Recycle Ann Arbor does that a couple times a year.
All right. Let's see, we got a few plastics. Here's one that I think one of these came in. And I don't know about these, and I don't know about the package they come in.
Yeah, so this should not go. It's got kind of a plastic film, but you can, again, by feeling it, can tell it's a different constituency.
Okay.
And then for this ribbon, some stores like Best Buy and Staples may take these back. I know they take back printer cartridges and so on.
I know
so I would take it in and ask if those are acceptable.
I know there used to be mailers, you could mail them back, but I haven't seen those in a long time.
Yeah, so check though with one of those local retailers.
Now we got this plastic bottle. Plastic bottles I know are, but what we don't know about are these lids. These are also considered lids that are not.
Yeah, so you can go either way on this. The manufacturers of or the users of these plastics now say it's okay to keep the caps. They've got a technology that removes the cap and recycles it separately from the other materials. So they say now that it is okay. Some people are still a little old-fashioned and are so used to removing the cap and throwing it away that they do so. It's not a big deal one way or the other, but you can keep the cap on if you so desire.
Okay, it does, so it no longer goes shooting across the recycling facility.
Right. Well, it might occasionally. That's a good point, actually.
But that's what I had heard, is you don't want to leave it on because when it gets crushed, it goes shooting across the facility.
That is an issue, and that it just takes up more space. Because it's not being crushed.
Yeah.
You got,
and it does need to be rinsed.
Should be rinsed. This probably isn't rinsed quite as well as it should have been. Okay.
And this kind of cups?
No go. Sometimes these are compostable. This one is, for example, it does show that the cup itself is compostable, but the lid is not, and the straw is not. So very confusing. In general, I would say if you get a cup like this, kind of a carry-out cup, whether it looks papery or plasticky, throw it away. It's not worth it. There's too many possible contaminants.
Either the coffee cup type cups or this kind of.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yep.
And there's another plastic bag. I think.
Yep. And that's no good. Freezer-based bags should not be included with film plastic.
Okay.
So this is a good example of a frozen vegetable that bag should be thrown away.
Now we got light bulbs, which are only recyclable at church. I know. Now we got an incandescent. These are all incandescents.
Yep.
Are they all?
Those are all no. So these should not have been delivered for recycling, nor at the drop-off station on Ellsworth Road. LEDs and fluorescents are recyclable, including the tubes. So those can be brought to the drop-off station for recycling. There's usually a site charge for those, or at some of our churches that have LED and fluorescent collection, you can bring them into the church as well.
Like Zion does.
Like Zion Ann Arbor, correct.
Right. Now, these, of course, are recyclable, but the lids are not.
Yeah, so typically the lids you would have on here would be that kind of hard plastic, usually colored,
Or metal.
or metal. Metal is actually okay.
The metal lids are okay.
So metal lids are okay. Again, I think a lot of mayonnaise jars, my pickle jars have that
Yeah,
metal cap.
yeah,
That's
right.
okay, but the plastic lids
Are not.
should not.
Oh, okay.
They should be thrown away.
Okay. And the only other question that hasn't been covered that I wrote down is batteries. Are rechargeable batteries recyclable as well as the alkaline batteries?
Yes, the full spectrum are accepted for recycling, not at the drop-off station. They only accept rechargeable batteries. They're fairly expensive to process and recycle, and they would be overwhelmed with the alkaline batteries if they accepted them. So they do not accept them. We do at Zion, Ann Arbor, and some of the other congregations either have battery or will be looking to add battery recycling. I think in general, what they are going to do is exclude the lithium-ion batteries for recycling at our church facilities, because there is a very small risk, but there is still a risk of fire if you get the right conditions with those lithium-ion batteries. So we ask that you keep those separate, take those into the recycler at Recycle Ann Arbor, but batteries otherwise are acceptable in the program. Hey, thank you very much. Good luck.
Okay, you have deep knowledge, Agent Recycle. We
Appreciate it.
appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Good luck.